Yeah. Okay, I think we're live. Hello, everyone. Just starting up a little bit early so I can get everything set up first. Just have all the bots and that start working. But hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. This is the second stream of the day. I figured because it's a smaller stream, I might as well get right into it and get it done with. Just gonna wait for everything to filter in. That should be fine. Everything's just sort of flooding in at the moment. The model looks fine. Okay. Yeah. I've been kind of wanting to do this for a little while, but I couldn't find the time in the timetable to put in a small React video, so so it's just sort of been lingering in the background for a little while. Hello Ringo, how you doing? And hello Chris, and hello Jackal. Hope everyone's going well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everything is going well. Oh, I probably should have had some music playing in the background, but oh well. We'll be starting soon enough anyway, now that it's 10 o'clock. Of course, those of you watching the VOD itself, you just, skip ahead. I might even cut off some of this. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a shorter one, I think. Oh, there we go, Stream Elements is on. I think there's only about 10 videos. It's about 30 minutes of playtime. But obviously with, me talking, reacting, going through things, it might be a bit longer, maybe up to an hour, depends on how it goes. But, so it's generally a bit of a shorter one. But there's a few things I've been wanting to react to for a little while now that I hadn't been able to get to. So I think there's a few new EPs. Well, there's one EP that I haven't seen that isn't new, but the rest of them are new. There's two. Well, at least I assume the other one is a lore video as well. But yeah, there's two lore videos, and then just some trailers, mainly just the PV for, I guess, the next event that's coming to Global, and I will also be re-watching the Chapter 9 trailer because, well, after Walking the Dust, it'll be on Chapter 9, so I figured I might as well remind myself as to what's going to be happening. But that's the general itinerary. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer just for things to flow in. I think everything's fine now, and I think... Yep, there we go. I'm also on the disc. Did I misspell that? No, I didn't. Okay. for a moment, I thought on the thumbnail, I thought I misspelled Arknights and misspelled the R for a B. I got into a slight panic attack for a moment. I was like, what? Why did I spell it Arknights? No, never mind. It's fine. Okay, so we're going to start off with some Calcite ASMR with Discover Terra 3. I did actually react to this way back when it was still in Chinese. Well, not when it was in Chinese, the voiceover's the same, but when the subtitles were in Chinese. So I actually didn't know what was going on. I had no sort of context or anything because I couldn't read what the person was saying, and of course I don't personally speak Japanese, at least not enough to really understand what's going on. So this one I'll actually be able to know what they're talking about as opposed to just seeing the pretty pictures. But I've dilly-dallied for long enough, so let's get right into it. And I also have context from everything that's been happening in game as well. Yeah, I saw Ringo. I'm really looking forward to that next week. Let me know if that's too loud or too quiet. I might be too quiet. Let me put it to there. もろく崩れやすい歴史は白氷を踏むように繰り返し同じ道をたどる。文明は一度また一度と起こり衰え絶えぬ循環の中で
今日へと至った新時代の翌地クルビア。大開拓の時代、利益分配に熱中する帝国は開拓者たちに付け入る隙を与えた。鈍乱が強熱を育み、人々はこぞって荒野に身を投じた。そして大開拓がもたらした犠牲者の姿は文明が野蛮を美化する道具となったことを示した。未開拓の力は富と技術が際限なく湧き出し、地に眠る金脈と天を覆う星々は人々の夢を乗せ、クルビアを驚異的な急成長へと導いた。古の時代、闘争の中で法が生まれ、法はサンクタを育んだ。ピカチュはこれを理解不能の裏切りとみなし、信頼の崩壊が戦いの火蓋を切った。しかし血染めの歴史はとうに忘れ去られ、残ったのは連綿と続く憎しみと純白で完璧なラテラーノである。スイーツと重機によって保たれる奇妙な均衡がリーベリを引きつけ、移住者によってサンクタは素晴らしき天性を押しとどめるようになり、法もまた征服者の故郷へと持ち帰られた。鐘の音は今も響くが、法の意志と腰方を思い起こす者は
I really want to learn more about Laterano.
リーベリがラテラーノの法をイベリアへ持ち込むと、
Oh, I spoke about that bit.
かの国の征服欲はますます強まった。ボリバル遠征が失敗した後、再起を図る島民たちの手によってイベリアは黄金時代を迎える。高らかに頬を張るイベリア艦隊、豊かな生活を送る人々、野心に曇った統治者の目では人類の領域外に潜む脅威は捉えられなかった。やがて大いなる性質が迫ると、海岸線は異様な様相を呈し、恐怖が静かに陸へとにじり寄った。裁判所の設立は最後の希望の明かりとなった。
This is a very interesting thing, this with all the context now.
イベリア人は運命を他人に委ねるつもりはないようだが、彼らの気高い抵抗にもいずれ終焉が訪れるだろう。しかして海の奥底で未知なる脅威が肥大化しつつある。目先の暗逸に甘んじたエーギルはいずれ滅びの運命をたどるだろう。
繰り返します。エーギルは全ての陸上文明に呼びかけます。今こそあらゆる偏見と怨恨を手放し、人類一丸となって我々エーギルと共に防衛線を築きましょう。母体はすでに封鎖を破り海面を終わりました。重要情報と演算結果は間もなく陸上に送り届けられます。我々が面している危険は陸海の隔たりや天災の脅威をはるかにしのぎます。我々は運命共同体として団結せねばならないのです。エーギルのもとに力を合わせれば必ずやこの難局を乗り越えることができるでしょう。
Okay, that was a lot of information to swallow up in one go. So for starters, it is actually amazing reading all of that. Well, listening and reading to all of that while knowing it all. Because when I first watched this, when it was still just the Chinese subtitles and all that, I hadn't played the game yet. Now, this was like way back when I did the second React video ever. So I hadn't played the game, I hadn't seen any of the stories, so it was actually interesting seeing them talking about things like Iberia and all that. It's just like the it's just like the Leonardo DiCaprio like point meme. It's like, I know this. But that was quite interesting. Okay, so I need to go back because there's a lot of details there that I now know and can actually found quite interesting. Although starting with what I don't know, Colombia. I don't really know much about Colombia. Not going to lie. Like, I know some, but I haven't actually played any of the events with Colombia yet. I've played events involving Colombia, like with Walk in the Dust and all that, where they're mentioned and people coming from there. But I haven't actually played any of the ones set in because I've missed most, if not all, of the Rhinelab events. I've either missed them or hadn't been able to play them. So that, unfortunately, I don't know much about Colombia besides obviously it being influenced by America. Especially a lot of like the more desert themed. You see a lot of like the Nevada and the oh, is it Never Eat Shredded Wheat? Western areas. But there was a thing that I found quite interesting. A little bit further on. There we go. The rapid rise of Colombia is truly astounding. I definitely see where they're going for there because it's obvious. I mean, it's obviously mimicking like America early stages where it was rapidly growing its influence, its power, its just prosperity, and just in general, which itself was very quick. I think America's been dubbed as one of the fastest growing countries at the time, something like that, which makes sense. I mean, they've only been around for about 250, something like that amount of years. So it is definitely one of the fastest growing, and and it seems like they're trying to replicate that within Terra. So it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. I definitely need to look up more on Colombia and follow its progress because it is one of the areas that I sort of haven't seen much of personally. North America after 1850 to nowadays, yeah. Because I do see a lot of there were things that reminded me of a lot of it during the early 20th century as well, like a lot of that sort of rapid rise and trying to make its policies the world policies, which in our world they did. Most of what's considered the Western sphere is very much inspired by America's ideals. So it's interesting to see whether or not Colombia would be able to achieve such a thing, or if they even want to compared to our world. Maybe they don't, but I think they do. I think it's sort of the same thing. In ancient times, Starborn Witness. Okay, so this one I found quite interesting. So this was this links into that video that we saw in the anniversary trailer where they were talking about how the Sancta came to be, or not necessarily the Sancta, but how lore and that. I suppose it was kind of. I suppose the Sancta did come from that because they weren't. What if I understand the Laterano storyline that they explained? It was difficult to because it was all in Latin, but from what I remember, were the Sancta like originally Sarkaz or something along those lines, and then they discovered the lore and that's where they got that change, but the Sarkaz didn't like that, or the ones that didn't change anyway didn't like that, and that's why they are always against each other. And this kind of prompted that same thing. So there, the Tikaz could not comprehend this act of betrayal. So the Sarkaz that didn't change, or didn't accept the law or whatever, Sancta were Tikaz, ancient Sarkaz, and then the law. Oh, okay, so that's what the distinction between Sarkaz and Tikaz is then. Because when I look up Tikaz on the wiki, it just gives me the different Sarkaz races. And so I wasn't quite sure what the difference between Tikaz and Sarkaz were. But I guess that now makes sense if Tikaz is the ancient term for it. Does that mean Sarkaz is what happens after the rift, so that the Tikaz that didn't become Sancta are now Sarkaz, or that's what they're called, or... Yeah, Sancta got their halo and wings after the law. Yes, that's what I remember from the trailer. So I remember seeing them, like... Well, not grow the wings, but you get what I mean. Like, they appeared on the characters in that image. And this prompted the war between them, and I guess it's the reason why they continue to hate each other. I found it quite interesting they talk about that, leaving behind only enduring hatred and a pristine city. Which I think is definitely an interesting sort of, you know, like, you've got two sides of things. You've got you've got that sort of malice there because, well, you know, hatred is malice regardless of what the reasoning behind it is. And then you've got you know, that more sort of like pure and pristine sort of thing. And I do wonder what if any of that may be sort of related to criticisms and such in terms of, you know, the inspiration behind Laterano and stuff like that. But it would be interesting to see. I think the name Sarkaz for the old Sarkaz is like Eskimo or Indian for Inuit and Native American. Oh, so Sarkaz could very well just be not like more of like a colloquial but not a good term for him. That would be interesting because I have only ever seen TCAS be mentioned on the wiki, but I wasn't sure why that was. But yeah, so it's interesting that sort of like split between the two. You've got this you know, you got this really pretty sort of city, quite pristine, quite pure, and then you've got like the fact that they just will not let anything go, and it's like that sort of issue there. I would want to see a bit more of that because I haven't actually seen, I personally anyway, haven't seen much in the way of Sancta versus Sarkaz. Like I've always heard of this sort of like, oh, they were at war with each other, they hate each other. I know Terra in general tend to band together against the Sarkaz multiple times, and I think the Sancta led that most of the time, if I remember correctly. Or they were just involved in it regardless, but it does seem like I don't think I've seen any like in-story sort of like Laterano going against Sarkaz or any of the other sort of things. Did you read the fandom wiki for TCAS? Not fully, but I read enough to sort of see like I basically I was looking up Sarkaz, and that's where I saw TCAS because it basically just took me to what I wanted to see for the Sarkaz, like the different specific races, you know, like the vampire, the Wendigo, etc., etc. So I haven't seen as much of it, which I suppose is partly why I'm sure the wiki actually explains why TCAS are now called Sarkaz or vice versa. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Just don't read too much into it. Yeah, I'm trying not to. It's really difficult, especially when I do like research on stuff for my videos. Like it's a minefield to try and research something without spoiling myself. I have kind of done that with the demons, or at least the collapsals. I don't know if that's all the demons, but this very specifically the collapsals, I've kind of spoiled myself on that because I did read into them because they were mentioned about Ursus, because Ursus borders the ice fields and they border it to keep them out. So I kind of ended up reading more about them than I should have because I know there's going to be the events and all that about them. So, we'll see how that goes anyway. But anyway, this one was interesting because I know of Laterano being spread to other places, but I didn't really see much in terms of other people coming to Laterano, which I suppose makes sense. Obviously, they would, and we do see the Liberi in Laterano, so I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm assuming maybe the Liberi did come from Iberia. Might need someone to give you info and sense of spoilers. Yeah, I suppose. I probably will have to start doing that for some of the other nations, especially the nations that don't appear in the main storyline but do appear in a lot of the events, because those ones will be the ones where they have like events that are only in China at the moment and stuff like that. So I will have to sort of weed through those eventually. But yeah, this one I found quite interesting as well. So I guess somewhat restrained the overly idyllic nature of the Sancta. I suppose that makes sense because the Sancta have the shared empathy, but then when you have people coming in from other parts of the world, and I'm assuming they can't become Sancta themselves, or most likely don't want to, even if they could, that means there's that disconnect there because the Sancta can't read the other races in the same way they can read each other. So I guess that would kind of restrain their ideal sort of existence. Because I assume there's still crime and all the bullshit that you normally get in Laterano, but I imagine it must be a lot harder to do that. I imagine things must be at least a little bit more peaceful in Laterano because of the sort of like shared empathy and things like that. So I guess I do wonder how that sort of affects things where you have these people that you can't read. You have to rely on the basic, the actual sort of understandings and empathies that you would normally have, which I don't know if the Sancta would even know what that's like. Because if you're so used to just that sort of semi-hive mind type vibe, you would never have been brought up with any of the sort of life lessons that you would normally have without it. Laterano peaceful. Okay, maybe they're not. In my view, I kind of see Laterano being a bit more peaceful because because of that thing. Like it's really difficult to hide intentions, I suppose, is maybe it. But maybe I'm reading too much into that. Maybe it isn't as strong as I think it is. Hello, cat. I love you too. Yeah, anyway, that's generally my sort of thing. Okay, yeah, I know they kind of they're a little bit eccentric in that sense. I know isn't it Exu that kind of maybe sort of wrecked a whole lot of shit? But like, I suppose when I say peaceful, I mean more so peaceful towards each other, not so much what would normally be considered civil unrest to anyone else. You haven't read Guide Ahead? No, I haven't, unfortunately. Exo alone is dangerous enough. Imagine a nation of them. True, okay. Lateran has a weird naming convention. I see. But what I did know, however, this bit there with Iberia. So I obviously, while they did have Iberians, or at least Liberis in general, coming to Laterano, I didn't know too much about that, but what I do know is Laterano coming to Iberia, or rather Lateran, the religion specifically. The only other nation storyline he's done is the Iberia storyline. Yes, although I have also done things like Il Siracusano, which is in, Siracusa. So I have done events in other places, and I've done the entirety of the Kazimierz storyline. Well, except for Obscure Wanderer. I don't know if that is in Kazimierz or not, but I've done the Maria Nell, the Near Light. I didn't do Pinus Silvestris because they don't have the events for it, but I've read the story bit of it. So I've done Kazimierz and Siracusano for as much as it has, or Siracusa rather, for as much as they have a story on it. But that's about it. I've sort of broken into Colombia a little bit with Mansfield Break, but not as much. But this one I kind of this one I do know about. But then of course they've got the Found Silence. I'm wondering what these are. I'm wondering if these are the ships, or were the ships, or maybe the lighthouses, but that makes me wonder. The establishment of the Inquisition was the last glimmer of hope. That's an interesting little bit of hope. This bit, though, there's the part that interests me, because so when we last left off with Stoltifera Navis, there was an Igerian city under the ocean not too far from Iberia itself. Like, that was a big thing that it was so close. Although, I think it was actually not Igerian, if I remember what they were saying. I think the way they were talking about it implied it was... it was sort of implied that it was more of a Seaborn or Church of the Deep city. But then at the same time, they also referred to it as being a place for refugees. So I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if it's an Igerian city. I don't know if it's actually a Church of the Deep city. I guess we'll have to see when they eventually give more information. But then again, though, this bit here, message coming from here on the coast, not too far from Iberia itself, does make me wonder if it is coming from that city. Because it's the only place I can think of. It's the only area, unless they're just broadcasting from there. But if they are broadcasting from a city there, then that would have to be that same city, unless there was another one that's also close. But with how important that bit of knowledge that there was a city so close to Iberia, I feel like that's probably it. I will say, though, very almost inspiring speech, I must admit. Like, it was very much a let's put differences aside and work together. This here, though, I like that. So they're talking about all this, but then it moves to the Hotlands and the ice field, both of which are demon areas, if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly, the Hotlands also have demons. Then you got the Infi ice field, which has the collapsals. And then you got this area, which I know nothing about. I know absolutely nothing about this area. I've seen it on the maps as what is almost like a black hole of an area, or like a tide sort of maelstrom. Basically nothing is shown there. It's all like it's just sort of artwork to make it seem like an area. I have no idea what this is. I want to know. But I like that. So state of influence, unknown area. Unknown, 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 unknown. You'll know more in IS4. Okay. I want to go back. Infi ice fields, 7. Exception reports. Okay, they're all unknown as well. I thought they might have mentioned the demons. I wonder if anything's... Okay, also unknown. Main species unknown. Okay, so the demons aren't considered a main species, maybe? Maybe they're a bit too eldritch for that. To give you an idea, they call the giant desert in Sargon the Golden Sea. Imagine how hot Hotland is. Fair enough. But yeah, I do definitely want to see the demons eventually, because they are very interesting, even though it's something that absolutely terrifies me. When I was reading through the collapsals specifically, I found that incredibly unnerving. It was really just reading the symptoms, or not symptoms, but like the signs that they're around, that it made my skin crawl. It was interesting. So I know there's going to be a event eventually that I think refers to the collapsals. So, and I know there's also IS4, but that will be interesting to see. But yeah, so then you've just got, Victoria, Laterano, Syracuse, you got all the places there. Sort of, it's very much a rallying call. Like, and it's just, I do wonder about this. Like, is this sort of like implying that every single area here has heard the message? Or is it just, because it's a map and you've got all of the locations? I don't know. But I just found it interesting that they all started appearing, like it, as if the message was reaching out. But that's the thing, that we must form a community. So I don't know if it is, but it does feel like the first time the idea of a global community, a global order, is being mentioned in Terra, at least. Because that is actually something that we have in the real world. We always talk about the world orders and all that sort of stuff, but there is a global sense of community in our world, like a link of things. You have the United Nations, League of Nations before that. Before that, you had the empires spreading their influence. So you had your Spanish and Portuguese empires, which then got replaced by the British Empire, which then got replaced by America, which then built up the League of Nations and the United Nations afterwards, and all of that jazz. So I do wonder if, unless there is a world order before that. Oh, actually, Laterano Pope is holding a meeting of nations in Guide Ahead. Oh, okay, so there is a, I guess there is a precedent before that, and I suppose that makes sense as well because in our world with Catholicism, the religion that sort of inspires Lateran, you did have that. You had Christendom, which was basically Europe and some other areas, and the Pope had sort of a decent sway of things over there. So I guess maybe there's a similar sort of thing. You see Lateran or Lateran rather in a lot of parts of the world. So maybe that's sort of how they're able to have that influence to get a meeting of other nations. But it makes me wonder if Aegir are trying to do a similar sort of thing, having this sort of aspect of banding everyone together to try and, I'm assuming, defeating. They talk about the catastrophes and all that, but I'm wondering if it's mainly the sea Terra issue, which would obviously be a pretty big one. Still lacks some buy-in from the major powers such as Victoria, Ursus, etc. Yan is somewhat neutral at this point. Okay, so there are some movements already, yeah. There's no way other nations agree with Vigir's idea. I struggle to see that they would, mainly because from our own history with the empires, they struggled. Like, bear in mind, a lot of what happened with America didn't really go full steam ahead until after World War II, where the big empires were licking their wounds. Britain never recovered from that. It kept shrinking and shrinking, and that was the global power at the time. So it left room for America to grow throughout after World War II. But that hasn't happened in Terra's history. You've still got Victoria, big empire. You've got Ursus, big empire. You've got Yan, which is a pretty big empire by the looks of it. I don't think it suffered the same issues that China historically suffered. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I haven't quite researched it. But you've got, on that alone, 3 big empires, and I don't know if any of the other nations are also quite big, but Yan is very neutral. Yeah. So I'm not sure how much of a stake in this they would have. They might be willing to work with them if it suits them. They might not if it suits them to not. Victoria, I feel like they won't. I feel like Victoria is a sort of country where they would want to be the ones in the limelight. They would want to be the ones in charge. Then, of course, you've got Ursus, which is Ursus. I struggle to see it because while I can see the current emperor being on board to an extent, if it means a better life for people, I feel like the aristocracy definitely won't. I feel like basically what I mean is every empire, I think, is going to want to be their own thing. They're all going to want to be the ones leading everything. So Aegir sort of being this rallying call might be something people would want to ignore instead. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes because, I mean, what they say is in people's best interests. Like, it is something that you might consider just for the sake of making things easier on yourself. But then it depends on how far it goes. That's kind of the thing. Aegir's hubris needs to be deflated quite a bit for anything to take shape. Yeah, that is also kind of the thing. I do feel like Aegir has kind of a superiority issue. You see that with the Abyssal Hunters quite a lot, with the way they sort of look down on everything on land, which is quite ironic considering Aegir is quite frankly dying. like I feel it. I struggle to see how you can be so out of touch. Like you've got cities falling left to right and center, I don't even know how many are left. I don't even know if what was the capital of Iberia is left. Maybe that city off the coast of Iberia is the only one left, and that was regarded as a refugee camp for the most part, if not a seaborne area. So they kind of have a lot to talk. Like, you know, they're not exactly a beaming sign of greatness, but they certainly like to act as if they are. But then again, I suppose every nation kind of does that. Yan got their own problems. Yan has their own demigod problems. Yeah. And to be fair, most nation don't know Igear exists, I think. I have seen that, because I've seen, like, some of the obviously Igerian people. They have their race as being unknown, which doesn't make much sense to me, because how would you not know? I mean, Iberia knows of the Igerians. The Igerians were the ones that helped them make the Golden Age. So I feel like there should be some that know. Yeah, literally the reason the Seaborns woke up. There is also that. I imagine a lot of people would be more, at least in terms of governments, would be more than willing to let Igear fall, and then they can deal with it themselves. But then again, at the same time, everyone saw what happened with Iberia. I don't mean the Profound Silence, I mean the Golden Age. And that was partly due to Igerian technology. Which does make you wonder if they know that, they might want to work with Igear just for the sake of getting some of that. Because, I mean, it made Iberia very powerful. If they could do something with it, how would it work for them? Like, basically what I mean is I can kind of see reasons why they would work with Igear, but I can also see reasons why they wouldn't. It's a very political thing, a very balancing act as to whether they would want to, whether they won't want to. Yeah, if they find people who actually know how they work. That is the thing. But I feel like if Igear is doing this rallying cry, they must have put something together, is basically what I mean. Like, they must... The reason why they've done it now as opposed to in the past, like, there must be something there where they feel like they have a chance as long as they get everyone else on board. So, I don't know. I feel like there's enough there that it could work, but also at the same time, making these empires want to work with Igear is kind of the issue. I can see some of the smaller countries working with Igear. I can't see the big empires working with them unless they get something out of it. And I mean something physical, not the concept of having a good life, basically. Because these nations far away, they're not going to care about the Seaborn until it reaches them. On the other hand, if you offer them something else, that might be the way in. So it would be interesting to see how that sort of politics works. But anyway, I spent a surprising amount of time on this. It's only a 4 minute and a half. I've spent 30 minutes on something that's not even 5 minutes long. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of... They care more about the demons. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, with them being so up north. And you've got Sargon as well, which I think is also dealing with the demons, if I remember correctly. I think Sargon deals with the Hotlands. I can't quite remember there. Because it's law. Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically the point I'm making. I think, like, there is a premise there. There is something that you could latch onto. I think it's more so the big players might be absent from this, so it might not be as strong of a union as Igear would hope for, unless they've got something to offer these big nations. But that can be a double-edged sword as well, because if they've got these powerful things that boosted Iberia into its golden age, could you imagine what all of these other nations would do to each other if they had all of that power? Like, imagine if you had, like, 5 Iberias, all of which had rivalries with each other. Like, that's also just as scary. But I think that's something I will look into a little bit later on. I definitely want to look into more of the geopolitics. I've been going through each nation individually, but I definitely want to do some videos on like the actual relations between some nations, maybe some of the key events like the wars and certain deals and stuff like that, if there's enough information on it anyway, because obviously if there's not enough, then I won't be able to make much out of it. But that's something I definitely want to see. I definitely want to see more of the links and ties and rivalries and all that. But anyway, the next video though, I think is another lore video. It's Yan, Wars of Ruin, which appeared on Arknights. I don't think I've seen it, and if I have, it would have been in Chinese, so I might not. Oh, Jesus, okay, starting right away. So I don't know anything of this, I don't think. But we'll might as well go right into it then, so...
纵横19道，万古无同举。已经过去了多少时间？千年，万年。
Hello, Zeg。
他只记得上下施行万象蒙暗，但沉睡醒来，大地上居然又长出了文明。人类于荒蛮中摸索秩序，最终，盐为这片土地命名。 但国业初兆，又因盐的早逝而陷入战乱。羸弱的族群连战争也如同游戏。他一时兴起辽作吐息，捉弄了战争的结局。见微之助者，唯有真龙。
Hello。
真龙觉察到了胜利的蹊跷。 觉察到了头顶的庞大阴影，披荆棘，分节序，理荒秽，辟四野，人定胜天。燕国的未来，不再一个神明相助、天命所归的传说。于是，渺小的生灵不屈不挠，往来奔走，试图撕开云翳。 又一个丰收之年，燕国各地如期举行庆典，祈祝收成，敬馈神明，一如过去的数百年。祭祀者列阵游行，叩倒者藏风于内。所谓庆典，竟是一场倾尽国力的围猎。你们操戈像神。 你们试图守护自己幼稚的文明，你们学会了真正的战争。他欣喜若狂。他决定背弃同族，成为你们的主宰，塑造崭新的文明。那确实是一场真正的战争。 浮尸百万，川江淤赤，山岳在蝼蚁的啃噬下崩彻，他的同族死伤尽半。愤怒、不解的、残存的同族，在他身上留下难以愈合的伤口，弃他而去。他以天地设局。 而自己终成一枚棋子，以为变化算尽，却早已落了后手，真是傲慢又愚蠢。
I could have sworn I just heard Qi Zhao, but that might just be me mishearing it.
陵墓幽暗，正好适合吞咽屈辱。可笑的是，
Wait, I got smiley faces from that
我对
comment?
那份屈辱。 感同身受。我是谁？我那些弟弟妹妹要几时才能明白，这个他们苦苦求索的问题毫无意义。民间口口相传的神话，撕碎台秘藏的卷宗，都不过是他的一场大梦，梦醒，皆是泡影。 无趣至极，荒唐至极。但是，投子认父，哪怕残局将尽， 以身助子，我依然有破局之手。千年来，能坐在这棋屏前的，没有几人。
Wait, keyboard. Okay, so
而
that's
我
the
的
game.
对手，从来都只有一个。该你落子了。
Well, watching this, I must admit I've realised how little of Yan I actually know of. Because actually, when I think about it, I don't know anything of Yan. The closest I know about Yan is Lungman, which, I mean, is Yan, politically speaking, but also isn't. Because it's more of a... not independent, but it's more of a... I've forgotten the term of it now. But, like, it's sort of its own thing. So I don't actually know much about Yan, and reading through this kind of made me realise how little I know of Yan. How much time has passed? 1,000 years, 10,000. Ancient Forge, Who is Real, Invitation to Wine, Vernal Winds, Death of Xiaofen. That's the event coming soon, isn't it? That's the one coming... Okay, interesting. But upon awakening, civilizations once again flourished on the land. Okay, so that's the other thing. So I'm wondering if that's the BCE, or if they're referring to the previous era. I'm assuming they're referring to the BCE because they're talking about 1,000 years. So, or did they say 10,000? Oh, maybe not. If it's 1,000 years, then it's a BCE. It's before the Kargan quest and all that. If it's 10,000 years, then that's anywhere up to the previous civilization, perhaps. But either way, one something sort of civilization is gone, only for another one to take its place, which makes sense. That's what happened. And yeah, and so they just called it Yan. I don't know what the word Yan means. Unfortunately, I probably should have had a look at that at some point. I knew this video was coming up. I should have done a little bit of research on Yan before seeing the video, but oh well. Yeah, so the weakened tribes playing at war as one-player games. So I'm assuming there was a lot of fighting in Yan, which wouldn't surprise me considering the country Yan is based on. There was a lot of infighting, a lot of breaking apart, coming back together, breaking apart, coming back together, etc., etc. I mean, we've all seen the history of the entire world, I guess. You know, the little jingles. China is whole again, then it broke again. So I wouldn't surprise if that's kind of what it's referring to there. It rouses a moment of whimsy, exhaling, toying, that comes. But I'm wondering about this. So I know they sort of have like demigod problems, but did they actually actively fight the gods? The true lung sense the vagrancies in victory and the vast shadow looming above. The impression I get is that the people of Yan decided to take matters into their own hands and fought against the gods or the divine or whatever. Though, by the sounds of it, things didn't go particularly well. Because they talk about, like, loads of deaths and rivers of blood or crimson. I'm imagining things either didn't go well or they went well, but it took a lot of death for it to get there. I was wondering, okay, I need to go back a bit. I need to listen because I could have swore I heard Qi Zhao. I might have just been mishearing it. I don't know Chinese, so it might have been something that sounded similar, but... I think it was around this bit.
以为变化算尽，却早已落了后手，真是傲慢。
That's okay. That might have not been the same word then. It might not have been the same word then. I think that actually said Ching.
却早已落了后
Oh, there's
手，
also that there as well.
真是傲慢，
Okay, no.
又愚蠢。
Alright, that might have just been coincidence then. I don't know. I don't want to say anything just in case it's not. I do not know the language. I don't know Chinese to differentiate. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it sounded enough, but then that might not have been Chin. That might have been Ching. I think I heard a bit of something else, so I'm not sure. It might have just sounded similar enough to my ears, so maybe not. Without the context of the Yan story, you probably don't know who the narrator is and who he is showing disdain for. No, I don't. At first, I was wondering if he is a god or one of the demigods and is got disdain towards Yan. It seems like he's sort of looking down on it when talking, but I'm not sure. Alright, so then you got this. You got the pictures, and I'm assuming there's 12 of them, because I'm assuming this is the demigod. No, are they demigods? Are the 12 siblings the demigods? I'm not entirely sure. I just know that they are godlike. But I'm assuming that's them. I'm assuming that's the siblings. The three siblings, yeah. And I guess that is all of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've noticed you've sort of got some details on some of them. Do they look familiar to you? I mean, I don't know enough about the three siblings, really. I feel like that one reminds me of the bloke we've just had on the banner, Chongyue. I feel like these three have more detail than the rest. And I'm assuming the ones that aren't detailed are because we haven't seen them yet, either because they don't have designs for them or because they don't want us to know what they look like. So I'm assuming these three are the ones that we have access to. Or maybe 4, because that one's also quite detailed. Or again, I might be reading too much into it. 4 of them are operators. And I'm assuming it's these ones here that have all the detail. Because after that, they're more silhouettes. Whereas these ones, they have actual like shading and features. Whereas those are just blobs of people-shaped things. I'm wondering who the person is, though. Because I don't know if that's the same person that we saw. If it will show me. I don't know if it's that person. Or if it's a different person. I mean, it could be him, just old and disheveled, or it's someone else. Maybe another member of the three siblings? I don't know if that was him looking at the portraits or not. Even when, in the end game, I still possess the means to turn the tide. But turn the tide in whose favour? For a thousand years, there have been but a few who could sit at this Weiqi board. And I'm assuming Weiqi is the game that they're playing, which at first I thought was backgammon because of the black and white counters, but I'm guessing there's something else. If they're all siblings, how much stamina does the dad have? Well, I mean, if they are gods, we've all seen the Greek pantheon. I imagine they kind of have quite a bit of stamina. And my opponent has always been the same. And they don't mention. So, without the context, I don't really know who they're referring to. I don't know if they're one of the demigod problems, or if they're against the demigod problem. I'm not sure, really. But it's definitely an interesting thing, and I definitely need to research a bit more into Yan. I've got some of the events as well, like the Who is Real. And I've been playing Invitation to Wine. I've been playing it first, and then so what I tend to do. So with the events that I don't play on stream, I tend to play the stages, and then watch all of the cutscenes afterwards. So I watch it all as like a book. So I haven't actually read Invitation to Wine yet. I've been playing through it first. But I guess we'll see. There's a reflection on the white piece falling at the end. Ooh. Did you play the Vernal Wind stages, unlocking the stories? I did. I definitely finished it. I'm fairly certain I finished it, so I should go back and see if I can get the story. If not, I'll have to watch it. If you're curious about the timeline, the first one is Ancient Forge, happens after Chapter 8 before that. Yeah, unfortunately, Ancient Forge isn't available, is it? It's not something I can get in the game, I don't think. So you should have them in record. Right, yeah, okay, I'll have to check the one afterwards. Okay, so... There's a white ship, wasn't it?
而我的对手从来都只有一个。该你
Oh! Ah!
该你
Okay. I'm afraid I don't know who that is either. So we've got two... I'm guessing they're both lungs? Unfortunately, I don't know who's who still. Interesting, though. Do you think they're going to have someone based off of Kennedy and Lone Trail? Possibly. I mean, Lone Trail is the space-themed one with the rocket, so I imagine it'd probably be some president at least. If it's even mentioned. It might not be. It might be mentioned in passing. This will make sense after you read Invitation to Wine. Okay. Yeah, I'll have a look at that on afterwards. Okay, so in which case, I might as well move on from this now, because there's not as much lore stuff I can really go on about for this. I don't know too much about about Yan. Ancient Forge is in public record. It'd be like Wanderer in the next event. So cutscene and story is in the public record. Oh, okay. Right, so it doesn't have playable stages, or at least not in the game at the moment, but you can read it in the archive. Okay, that's good. That means I can read through it. But yeah, so the next thing I'm gonna watch, or rather listen to now, because I've got a couple of EPs and PVs and stuff. The first one is actually one that's been out for a while, but I haven't listened to it at all yet, I don't think. And it's Inez's EP. Her song, so Squad Unknown, or All Quiet Under the Thunder theme. So I've actually avoided this one because I was worried about spoilers. This was very early on when Inez was announced, and at this point in time, like, it must have been only about a week or so after playing Arknights that Inez was visually confirmed alive. It turns out she was eventually confirmed alive in either Chapter 8 or Walk in the Dust anyway. So when I was worried about people saying that, oh, it's a spoiler, they were referring to the confirmation in the game that was already there, not the actual thing. Didn't you just finish streaming? Yes, I streamed earlier, so this is the second one. Parkour. Anyway, so yeah, I was worried about spoilers, but it turns out that she was confirmed alive before Chapter 12 anyway. So that was quite interesting finding that out. But I was so, like, happy when I saw her in the thumbnail of the trailer, because I was like, yes, I called it. Because the entire time I was playing Arknights, I was thinking, this is bullshit. How did this stormtrooper-ass group of people manage to kill Inez? That made no sense whatsoever. And it turns out, of course it didn't make no sense, because they didn't. But Because I was so angry about it, because it was like, there's no way she lost to people like that. Like, there was no way in hell. It seemed so cheap, and you didn't even see it. There was no, like, send-off cutscene or anything. Like, you know, no sob story of her getting cut down. No, it was off-screen entirely. Like, it felt so bullshit. So, like, there was that sort of thing where it was like, okay, yeah, no, there's no way it was a thing. And then, like, a couple of weeks later, the trailer and her face is in the thumbnail. I haven't seen chapter 12. I don't know, I did watch chapter 12 trailer in the end, I think, but like, I saw it, I was like, so it already spoiled it for me anyway, so it didn't matter that the confirmation came earlier than I was expecting, but it was still like, I was looking, I was like, yes, I knew it, I knew there was no way that would be. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to actually listening to this now. Hey, it's you. To find the weakness of your enemies. Hey, it's you. Shadows, I can mark the breaks and take your failures as a front seat to watch your knees shake. I'll have my premonition, please. Your information doesn't mean a thing to me. I see the holes in your logic and the picture in your locket is the people you don't want to leave. I'll give you 30 seconds head start to state your case before a bias court. When your sentence is delivered, I won't like it, but I love her voice. I love the bass in the background. I've spelled it out in ways you understand. I'll simply simplify my math. Either that or it's just a deep guitar, but I think it's a bass. Talking to myself, spinning shadows into spells is the surest way to make it land. You can keep your dirty devil's war. It's a rotten apple poison core. But if you call me to the line, it's gonna be a break in silence, and you know what I'm there for. It's no catastrophe when you run from me. All the rumors that surround you simply atrophy. I love it when they do the kinetic typography. Oh, that was clever with the radar. There's always a guitar solo. There's always a banger guitar solo. Oh, that gave me a headache. I was bobbing my head too much. Oh yeah, that one. Oh, wow. I'm not entirely sure where to begin. For starters, Pyrite or March On vibes. Definitely Pyrite, I'd say. Although I suppose the guitar solo going in was kind of like a March On, but there's a lot of these things. I love how a lot of these EPs, especially the ones that are more rock-like, you've got the banger lyrics and they're going on. It's like, you know, it's really hyping you up. And then always there's someone that just, there's immediately the guitarist is like, hold on, let me just casually destroy my guitar for the next minute, and just comes out with like the most fire solo ever. And it's like, it's such a theme with Arknights where there's always like the one song every so often where they just do that. I will admit though, I was a little bit distracted. I forgot how good W's uniform looked on her. I know that's really bad of me to say, but I was a little bit distracted by that. I kept looking towards the middle of the screen to feel like, oh yeah, I really liked that uniform. I really wish there was. We have a part of her uniform as one of the outfits, don't we? But it's like the full-on gear, isn't it? I think. I don't know. I just really like cargo trousers, or combat trousers, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, enough of that. So the actual music itself, I do really like that, and I like that someone has said it's calm but wild at the same time. That I definitely agree with, because it's rock, but it has an element of blues in it, and I think that blues is being driven by the bass guitar in it, because that is a bass guitar being played. You hear the deep notes, you hear the dum dum. It's definitely it sounds like a bass guitar, and that is a big part of the blues. You have a lot of that, either the double bass or the bass guitar later on, but you have that sort of deep, quite a bit of a I've forgotten what it's called, like that sort of like groove. Have you listened to Mortal Eye yet? No, I don't know, actually. I don't recognize the title. There are a few other EPs that have come out on Casdell Team recently. If that's the case, then it is new. Okay, so if that's the case, then it is. Then it should be on the list. Because I've updated the list today. Is a CNOP. Mortalizer is for CNOP. Okay, so I might do. I can't quite see the list because it's covered by the chat. If it's not on here, then I'll look at it afterwards. So I'll have a look. But actually, I can just hover over. And a limited operator, EP, Miss You, Missy. No, okay, it's not there. Interesting. It wasn't on Castel Team when I went through it, so unless it's just come out like a few hours ago, maybe. I don't know. I'll once I finish some of these, I'll look it up then. Unless I have already watched it, but Mortal Eye is about a month old. Oh, I might have already watched it then. Was it one of the operators, the operator with oh, I can't remember. She had like that interesting tail. It was quite purpley. Not purple as in the fire, not that one. It was the big tail. Typhon, yes. Was it Typhon's theme? If it was, then I have watched it already. That was my previous React stuff. Okay, yeah, I have watched Typhon's EP already. You've listened to it. Okay, yeah, there we go. Alright, that's good. Okay, for a moment I thought I was worried that I missed one. Yeah, I watched Typhon's theme, the last React video I did, I think. But anyway, so the next one is going to be a Summer Carnival 2023, the side story. So long, Adele. Okay, I guess we're rolling in the deep for this one. So this is the animation 3D PV. Nope. Short one. They've always got a shorter aspect ratio for the animations. I wonder what that is. I wonder if there's a specific design choice for animations. I really love the summer events, I will admit. That's Swire, isn't it? Oh. Hog Rider. Wow. Sheep Rider. What is going on? It's like... Arknight cart. Wait, hang on, I saw concert there. Oh, come on. Oh, that was really nice. I do really like these, and I really like the summer events. They're always like really nice vibes. Even though for us they're not really summer events because we get them in like January, but you know, it's still nice. Even if it does make me yearn for summer every time. This event is hard. I struggled on EX. Okay. So, also I just want to say, like, this feels like dreams. This feels like a dream. Like, you know, you're doing this. Oh, suddenly there's sheep everywhere. You're riding the sheep. Oh, they're flying now. Like, like if you asked me to recount one of my dreams, like this would not sound so dissimilar to that. But I do. So I'm wondering. So I'm guessing Swire's having her time off now. I mean, we've had Chen, and I think what's her face, Onigel also. I think she was also part of it. They've had their time off. I'm guessing it's now Swire's time off, although she looks a little bit more stressed than you would expect. It was teased as Dreamland. Okay. Also, what does that say? Terapia de... Oh, okay. Oh, that might... Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Something Spanish. I'm guessing maybe we're in Bolivar again, because they seem to be either Bolivar or Sargon. Is that... Is that, Ayalafel or something like that? Fiesta. Okay, nice. Yes, Ayafiala. There we go. Ayalafel, Jesus. So, yeah, Ayafiala. That is a mouthful to say. Okay, so Siesta. But Siesta... I thought Siesta was in Bolivar, or is it its own place? But I like how cute this is. I do like the animation style they have for the animated PVs. And like I was saying, she just looks like she's not having a fun time half the time. And it does kind of fit with Swire's personality, not gonna lie. She does seem like the sort of person that's constantly like, oh, what? Independent city state, I think. Oh, okay. It's a lone independent mobile city and Ibiza based. Okay, interesting. But yeah, I really like this. I know absolutely nothing about... Oh, consent. Okay, I thought it said concert. So there we go. Dos is Bolivar, I believe. I think so. I'm fairly certain one of the holidays is in Bolivar. One of the holidays is in Sargon. So I'm guessing now it's Siesta. So, although there was one in Siesta before, isn't it? Because isn't this the fourth summer that they've done? Because So the first summer is in Siesta. And then apparently Dossals is Bolivar. And then 2 Sargon. Okay. Siesta was the first summer event, one with Ceylon. Okay, yeah. Right, interesting. Okay. And okay, so No is... I've noticed that. So No is... obviously it was a sheep that did it, but interesting. So yeah, so Siesta, Dossals, I can never figure out how to spell that, but that's the place in Sargon apparently. And Siesta. Okay. It's sort of gone full circle in a way. It started in Siesta and now they're back in Siesta. Interesting. It looks like a volcano, not gonna lie. Interesting. And now it's the actual PV. Okay, so we'll get a little bit more information on this one. Okay, fortunately there's not going to be any subtitles here. Not a volcano, it's a pink nuclear bomb, Barbenheimer. Oh my god. Skips the sheep hug. Oh, I did watch it. It's very... It's almost like 50s-esque. Like those old diner vibes. Jazz? Oh yeah, the music's like jazz, yeah. Oh, hello. Oh, there's Swire. Okay, so that's an altar. You want to know the name of this track? Oh, yes, please. This does look very Barbie. The person in chat is right. Yeah, Ringo is kind of right here. And Tor. Ah, new outfits. That's Chestnut. Ow. That was Chestnut. Luna Cub, okay. Oh, and that's the new person. And I'm guessing things for them. Modules? Yes, modules, okay. I don't have any of the people that those modules are for. Oh, new Annihilation. Stationary security. Okay, that's that new thing. Oh, rerun. Oh, minimalist skin. Trials for Navigator. Oh, that's been mentioned before. Wow, there was a load to unpack there. Okay, so for starters, the music, love it. Very jazzy, very upbeat, very party-like in that sort of way. Some of this here, very aggressively 70s, like, tourist vibe with the, like, you know, these sort of almost Polaroid type. And some of it also feels very synthwave, like not the music, but the like the style, like this sort of stuff. Not this bit. These sorts of things. not necessarily synthwave, but like, you know, that kind of, you sort of see like that sort of vapor kind of vibes. Did the 70 tourist trap have sheep? Maybe not, but it does kind of give me a bit of LA sort of vibes. But anyway, so yeah, it's a new operator. I must admit, I find this person kind of interesting. Another guard, though. I feel like we've got a lot of guards already. But, I mean, I don't mind. He looks interesting. I mean, his skills, his fighting. He looks like he's got quite a bit of distance there. Yeah, he does too. Instructor guard, yeah, his, I was thinking that because he kind of has like that sort of whip type length. Also, that PV track is called Sheepnado Decimates Nomadic City. God, wow. Yeah, definitely an interesting one. I thought that one was quite interesting. And then there's Swire. And... oh, the Elegant Wit. Okay. Okay, for a moment I got a bit confused there. I thought that said Swire the Elegant what the fuck. I thought that said WTF. I got really confused for a moment. I immediately read it as Swire the Elegant what the fuck. I'm like, what? Wait, hang on, what? Okay, so she's a specialist in this. I don't know if she's a specialist in the original form or not. They reused Taurus Eskin from the first Fiesta event, just more details. Okay, I thought there was something familiar because I've seen them in that database thing that I get like a lot of the images and stuff from, but they're a little less detailed. Instructor guard originally. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is the altar. And I like that. I like that I love this splash art. She's a merchant. Ah, okay. Right, oh yeah, that's the merchant thing, the cost. A little bit difficult to work with. I definitely need to have a printer ready. Just print out cash for them. And then let's see what they... okay. Some range there by the looks of it. Oh, and... oh, so she's also an altar. Interesting. She looks really fun to play with her champagne skill. Okay, the Vit. I don't know. The something. I'm not even going to attempt it. So medic, wandering medic. Okay, so that's the one with the big range. And they do elemental damage, or is it elemental effect? Something like that. White ash. Okay. Is elemental healing. Right, there we go, yeah. And that's the E2 splash art, which again looks really good. Okay, so now I just wanted to get through some things. Alright, so this is the skins. Oh, that's oh, so that's okay, so that's my Gavial. Well, I've got both Gavials now, but that's the guard Gavial. Okay. That is a really nice looking outfit, not gonna lie. I quite like the look of that. And then it's okay, interesting. I actually really like Chestnut's outfit. I'm fairly certain he's wearing the same shorts, though. I'm fairly certain he's got the same cargo shorts on. Chainsaw on the surfboard. Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, I quite like I quite like it as well. Like, it's a lot more casual because he wears like a more of like an adventurer's explorer sort of get up in his main outfit. I like how they have them all posing like they're posing for the, you know, modeling that, like, you know, they've taken like, okay, we're using you for the outfit, selling it, we're taking photos of you, strike a pose, put your cheek on the on a cold glass of something, like, you know, it very much looks like the sort of thing you would see the like actual like photographers and um you know, modeling agencies. You're basically all those people who do like these adverts for outfits. It looks exactly like the sort of thing you'd see. Wow, it's a CD. It's a CD cover. Oh, it is a CD cover. Oh yeah, I see the thing. But yeah, I do like the way that it's sort of like, it's very in-universe. It's very like, you know, they're actually modeling the outfits that you see them wearing. Like, I have always really liked that. It's not just something that they're wearing, it's something that they're modeling for the company. I really like the way they do that. And then the other one is also Myrtle? Yes, Myrtle. Just a generic bikini one by the looks of it. Just sort of like the usual. I mean, it's quite common for Coral Coast. They do a lot of swimwear stuff, so that's usual. Is this Golden Glow? Oh, okay. I suppose that makes sense because Mizuki's already got one, so I guess Golden Glow has a Coral Coast one now as well. It looks quite nice as well. Quite like definitely quite like the I like the outfit. I like how as well with some of the you see it especially with Coral Coast because there's only so much they do. Like you notice things like the shoes, for example, that they have, the sandals, they tend to have a similar style. I mean, it makes sense because they've got brands. So they seem to sort of have not similar outfits, but like similar items of clothing that mixes in with the outfit. So you'll have different outfits, but similar items of clothing that make up the outfit. And I think that's quite interesting. Because again, it sort of matches the sort of thing. So like, you see a lot of similar sort of like sandals, for example. You see a lot of similar sort of like jackets. I always find that quite interesting the way they do it because again, it's all things that look very in universe. So, like these are companies that are mixing together their stuff. Like they're promoting their outfits, they're promoting their items of clothing by making these outfits. Like I always just really like it. I like the way they do that. And Luna Cub as well. I didn't actually know much about Luna Cub. I've got Luna Cub, I think. And this is... I don't know what company this is. Oh, 0011. That's the company, isn't it? Alright, and then you've just got these. So archives. Who's Hummus? I don't remember seeing Hummus. I don't remember seeing him in any of the PVs. I think I'd recognize someone with an open window chest piece. Hummus is chapter 12. Oh, okay. Oh, I haven't seen the chapter 12 PV. That's why. That's why I haven't seen chapter 12's trailer. I've been avoiding them. Okay. I quite like him. I quite like. I'll probably pull. Oh no, he's the free one, isn't he? That's even better. Thaleach, I've got enough of her. I've nearly got her maxed because of I kept getting her. I couldn't get Horn. I couldn't get Mudrock. Every time I got 6-star on that damn banner, it was her. And then you've just got the modules. Wait. Oh, okay, so there's a module for... Oh, that's... Oh, no, that's Gabriel. Okay. Oh, and of course it's the same one. Oh, so it's all of these. So it's the same class, right. Okay, that makes sense. That's good. Gabriel's already pretty strong. I would love to see... how strong she will be with the module. Because Gavial is pretty strong. I still use her to this day. She's one of the people that I can sort of put somewhere and ignore. Again, another Centurion, another Centurion. No, that's a different thing. So that's... Okay, so there's now a module for that. Modules for those. And then a module for that. Okay. These are... Is this the Annihilation? I assumed it was, but it might not be. When I see the circle, this sort of thing, I always assume it's Annihilation. But I've recently seen that there's a new thing. Like, I went on to Annihilation. There's now 2 options, but I'm not sure. Annihilation? Okay, it is. Okay. And then there's Southern Security Service. I'm not sure what this is. I feel like I've seen it before. It says new season, so I must have seen it at some point. There is an X and Y module. Oh. So stationary security. Is that the thing that's coming soon to us? Have we just not seen it yet? Or have I just missed it, or I don't know what it is? That's module stuff. Okay. Module material game mode. Oh, okay. And then retro. So is this a rerun as well? You've not played it. Oh, okay. Because if this is a rerun, then I'm absolutely loving the idea. And I'm also absolutely loving the idea of this as well. I really like Minimalist's outfit. I really like the outfit. Retro's rerun. Okay, nice. I really liked that. But I didn't play the story. I only played a bit of it because I was new. I didn't have the people leveled up. I was shit. I still am shit, but I was shit then. So it was a bit of a struggle playing that, so I didn't get it in the end. But I really like this outfit. I love the shorts, I love the vest, I love whatever those sorts of things are. You see sort of like the toolkit vibe there. And again, Coral Coast, relatively similar sandals. I feel like Coral Coast only have a certain number of sandal brands. But yeah, so I really like the outfit. It's sort of outfit I would wear, to be honest. I'd put it all together. And then just a light spark in the darkness. Oh, so that's a record restoration. Okay. Calling FBI. No, Wind. Shush. I'm talking about the outfit. Okay, and then there's Ceylon. Is this outfit already a thing, or is this a new one? If it's a new one, then I think it's quite fitting that the summer event that goes back to Siesta happens to have her, because she was the first one, and the first one was Siesta. So it's kind of interesting that they go back to Siesta, and now she's got a outfit because she was the free person for the first Siesta event. So I thought that was quite interesting. The plushies. Oh yeah, little plushies. What race is Ceylon? Or, yeah, Ceylon. What race is she? Because I don't see... Or is that Liberi? That might be Feathers. Liberi? Okay, yeah, Liberi. Okay, I was going to say, because at first I didn't notice. I thought that was like a hairpiece, but then I realised, oh, those actually look like feathers. Okay, there you are. So, yeah, Liberi. And then we got more of the raffle things. Well, they're not raffles, but, you know, those tickets. Again, just outfit, not outfits, dormitories. There we go. So the next one now is... Limited operator story. Okay, so this is another one for Ayafella. Ayafella. Also, the Teddy is a reference for Schwartz and Ceylon. Oh, okay. By the way, Casdell team didn't upload the Black Steel event PV. Oh, did they not? Interesting. Which one? Okay, so the Black... Oh, so Black Steel have an event. Interesting, because I don't know much about Black Steel. They're referenced. You have characters that were from Black Steel or are from Black Steel. Are there any events that are in that revolve around Black Steel, or is this the first Black Steel related event? I'll send it on Discord. Okay. Yeah, put it in the Discord and I'll watch it later on. Get back to here. First event, but they have a manga. Oh yeah, I've known about the manga. Rainbow Six was kind of related. Okay. There's a manga around Black Steel Girls. Okay. Alright, so I'll probably watch that in a bit. Oh, so that's River V. Okay, interesting. Actually, I might put that on now. I'll put that on now first. And then we'll get back to the rest. So we'll just see how it is. Yep, that's up. Okay, yeah, so let's watch this first. So I'm curious now, so I want to see what it is.
War never changes. Warfare does. We are Black Steel Worldwide. We offer non-financial risk management consulting solutions to all legal entities on Terra. We conduct our business on a wide spectrum so as to meet the changing demands of our prospects. As the leader in our industry, we control the best hardware, cutting edge, found nowhere else. Our signature landship, being one of a kind, supports our every major operation. Our founder and CEO, Mr. Cliff, personally makes sure that advanced firearms are available to all of our professional consultants.
He is a Sancta.
For our customers and employees, these are the reasons why we always give the best. Choose us. We are Black Steel Worldwide.
Wow, okay. This PV is like an ad you would see on YouTube, on TV or YouTube. I don't think Mercenary Corps are allowed to advertise on TV or YouTube, but I get what you mean. I like how his wings are guns. Were they? Oh, they are! Also, that's quite interesting. So I know Black Steel took blueprints and such from Laterano and used that to make their guns. But I didn't realise that the owner of Black Steel was a Sancta rather. I just assumed they took it. I didn't realise he was in Laterano maybe, or just a Sancta in general, but I didn't realise that bit, so that's quite interesting. This is the first time we're knowing the CEO is a Sancta. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, that's the thing. Also, I just love how I recognise some of these weapons. I feel like I see a Scar. I feel like I see an MP5, MP7 now? Or UMP? Definitely. Quite interesting, but that was a lot to unpack. UMP, thank you. UMP 9, MP5, yeah. I do like that because I've noticed that a lot of the Black Steel weapons are very much not necessarily American weapons, but like, you know, weapons that are quite popular there. But I love it. And yeah, I remember, speaking of America, Black Steel operates from Colombia, right? If I remember correctly. They're a Colombian registered mercenary group. But I like this one. War never changes, warfare does. This and the Rhine Lab trailer that had the very Fallout themed just makes it just adds to it. It's like they're really going for early America, aren't they? Bet Jessica gonna get her an altar. That would be nice, not gonna lie. But anyway, so I like this. I will say one thing though. The entire time I was watching this, I was thinking of the Atlas Mercenary Company. So I don't know how many of you have played Call of Duty or even paid attention to the story, but in Advanced Warfare, which isn't the best, but it had a good story, there was a mercenary group called Atlas Corp, or Atlas Corporation, or something like that, led by Kevin Spacey, which should be a red flag. It should have been a red flag. But anyway, yeah, so evil company pretty much by the end of it. But it gave me that same sort of vibe because I suppose they're both mercenary groups. They both advertised in that same sort of corporate style. But it was quite interesting to see this. It does also remind me of some of the obviously not mercenary groups again. They can't really advertise, but it reminds me of weapons companies, but specifically like ones like Saab and BAE Systems and stuff like that. They have not a similar sort of thing, except instead of advertising services, they're advertising products, but that similar sort of vibe. But I just want to move forward. So yeah, you've got all this very Tom Clancy-esque, very modern warfare. I want to go, obviously advertising all of this. This I find interesting. Okay, so they've got a land ship. Well, I mean, obviously they've got a land ship. I would expect a company like this to have a land ship. I expect a company like this to have a fleet of land ships. But they talk about this one. They sort of pride themselves in having this land ship that follows them for the big commissions. And it makes me wonder what kind of land ship this is. I don't see weapons on it. It could be an aircraft carrier. It could also just be a regular land ship like Rhode Island and some of the other ones where they're not really combat related, but they're basically just saying we'll move our entire facility for you. That could just be the point of the advertisement. But if they're advertising the fact that they've got a land ship in that sort of regard, I mean, imagine a mercenary company advertising that they've got a battleship and they show a video of a modernized USS Arizona. Like, that would be, that's kind of the vibe that it gave me the first time I saw it. But when I look at this now, it's not weaponized by the looks of it, not unless they have like vertical launch systems. I don't really know what kind of missiles they have in Terra. I don't even know if they have any. I don't think they do. So maybe not. Might be a logistics carrier. Yeah, that's probably the most likely thing. So it's not necessarily... Well, it's military, but it's logistics. It's not actual combat. Which is a shame, but... Well, it's a shame for me. I want to see a land warship. I want to see what they look like. I want to see how they would function. But I did find this very interesting. And it is quite a big thing to advertise. Like, you've got the vessel. Like, well, that's the first thing. You've got the vessel, you've got a land ship to advertise. But the fact that you're advertising the fact that if what you're contracting us to do is a big thing, this is basically like saying we will move mountains for you. This is what they're saying, except instead of moving mountains, they're moving a city-sized thing. They're moving a massive carrier. Like, that's basically it. It's like... That's basically them saying we will move mountains for your contract. And I feel like that is a big... I don't know how many other mercenary groups in Terra would be able to advertise and compete against this sort of thing. But then again, I guess they don't, because Black Steel is the main one. Unless there is another company that I'm forgetting. Like, you have loads of mercenary groups, but Black Steel's the big one, isn't it? So maybe there aren't really that much competition. Oh, you'll see a warship in main story. You'll see warships, all right. Okay, nice. I'm probably being a bit naive. I'm probably going to absolutely hate the cutscene when I see it, but I just want to see it. I want to see how it works. I love these sorts of things. I want to see how they work in universe and stuff like that. But then, okay, yeah, you're advertising all the weapons. Does Black Steel sell weapons as well? Or is it just the services? Because I know they also have to compete... Because if they do sell weapons, they'd have to compete with likes of Raytheon and other such groups. I do like they've got gun... I want to know how the Sancta wings work. Because I feel like there's no way you can just be born with gun-shaped wings. Like, that doesn't seem... It feels like there's got to be some level of customization to it. Maybe it's how... Maybe this person is so gun-minded. Maybe that affects how they're shaped. Maybe there's something like that. Worry not, customer. We will capture that ancient being you were talking about. They're also selling armament. Okay, yeah. They deal in firearms, though. It's a trade secret. Oh. They do sell more on the guns side. Okay. I know in Il Circa they say they bought A gun from Black Steel. Okay. But that one was a fake gun, though, wasn't it? Like, it wasn't a Black Steel gun, but it's a Black Steel themed gun, if I remember correctly. Thanks for gaining wings when they speak for the first time. Just imagine, like, you know, some babies say dada, some babies say mama. This person says Winchester rifle. Gib. No, I don't know. Raytheon is more on the melee side of weapons. Oh, interesting. Okay. Guns are the same as our art staffs, so if they sell not many, they can use them. True. But yeah, that's really interesting. I'm really glad I saw this now, because that did get me in the mood for that. I liked the style. I liked the Tom Clancy sort of theme. Like, that is pretty much the main person I think of when I see stuff like this. I think of Tom Clancy, if not Call of Duty Modern Warfare style stuff. They also do a similar sort of thing. But interesting, yeah. So I'm definitely glad about seeing that now. I liked that. That was quite a good trailer. So anyway, next one though is the limited operator story. So this is Eyjafella. Let me see. I feel like we've already got PV with her, but I guess we'll see.
You see, Adele, magma is formed from molten rocks. They are usually packed tightly to each other, deep under.
Oh, so it's Adele.
Rocks are pulled along by the slow, drifting mantle before colliding with other rocks at faraway places. Though separated by vast distances, they all converge into a singular life force of molten heat. With the long darkness endured, they will at last emerge in a brilliant eruption.
Oh.
It's a blossom, producing a haze full of peace and life.
That didn't go well.
Withering, all cools down and solidifies.
Can't quite hear what it's saying.
They fall back onto the land, invigorating its soil. Almost everything that grows will do so. However, those mountains of fire can also exact a deadly toll, scarring with terrible things.
Oh, I get what's happening. I realized.
What exactly gives this land its heartbeat? What causes its blood to freeze and boil? The unaided human eye can barely fathom the immensity of geological science. They simply can't forth.
Yet at this very brief moment,
Oh.
I can easily gaze upon this beauteous scenery. And you, Adele. We have witnessed instances of crustal movements and vast seas of sputtering lava. It felt as though we had lived multiple lifetimes. We are the fortunate few who found a mystery that both of us fell in love with. If only the magma coursing through this land had flowed a little slower.
Well, I feel a bit bummed now. I don't know much about. I don't know much about her story, unfortunately. But from what I can get from this is, I'm assuming. I mean, let me find. Okay, yeah, it's definitely science. It's definitely lab coats. of some sort. So I'm assuming that was the mother talking there. And I'm assuming both parents died in something. It took me a little while to realize why everything was all muffled, but then yeah, I remember now she's going deaf. Is she also... She's also the one that has sight issues as well, right? Or is that another character? I remember there's one that's losing both vision and hearing, which absolutely sucks. Yes, okay. And so she's listening or trying to listen to what I'm assuming is her mother talking in a previous recording, which is a scenario I don't really want to think about, but yeah. So I'm guessing they were researchers. Looks like they were more like geological researchers, at least assuming by what she's talking about. Yeah. Volcanic, right. That's kind of why I was wondering about the volcano in the original event. That's is there def linked to their work then? If anyone knows, I don't know if that's been explained or not. Because I'm guessing it's kind of like that sort of theme of going to work one day and then not coming back. But well, that kind of made me bummed a little bit, which can either be a good or bad thing because the EP is up next, and if that's also sad, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to deal with that. Her code name is also Icelandic name for volcano. Oh, okay. She is a top 4 most infected operator. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly segue into the music before I think about it too much. Ooh. I love the vocals.
What if I stop seeing the parts of you that live within me? What if I stop feeling the strength that you'd insist is in me? My deepest fears might all come true, but I will try to keep my cool. Long as I keep breathing, I'll do my best to be like you. They say that time will mend any kind of aching heart, but I still wonder when the healing will begin. You know, I'd always needed you. You know, I really, really miss you. What if I close my eyes and drifted till forever to find you? Would you be looking for me too? Would you be looking for me too? What if I close my eyes and drifted till forever to find you? Some mornings I just can't get up because the whole wide world put its weight on me. But that's when I remind myself to open up the gift that you gave to me. My eyes like yours, eyes that say I can take on anything and everything. I just wish you could see who I've become. You know, I'd always needed you. You know, I really, really miss you. What if I close my eyes and drifted till forever to find you? Would you be looking for me too? Would you be looking for me too? What if I close my eyes and drifted till forever to find you?
Well, I liked the music. I liked the upbeat vibe of the instrumentals. I'm not going to comment on the lyrics. I'm just going to move on. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, no, not really much discussion I can give for that one. It's mainly just a topic I don't really want to think about, so yeah. But still, the next one is Missy, which is Swire's new EP. I can't remember if she's had an EP before. I want to say she has, but I might be thinking of a different character that looks similar. If not, then this is the first one. I can't quite remember now. But yeah, let's get right into it. She's never had a solo EP. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. She was in that Lungman one. Quite jazzy. Old 90s pop style in Asia. Okay, interesting. And apparently this is Cantonese. Okay. Why am I getting a 007 vibe with this? It is that kind of music. Jazzy, and it's interesting that it says 90s Asian pop. Because this is very 70s, 60s jazz for the West. Look how the lyrics presented like karaoke lyrics, yeah. Jazz took a while to crawl to Hong Kong, right. I really like this. 98 Motel. Yeah, like it is that sort of, does give me that sort of old school 60s 70s vibe. Like, yeah, like that sort of. You see who the owner of the motel? Roy's. There's no way. There's no way. Given a bit of a vaporwave looking. Yes, Hoshiguma does call Swire Missy. And if I remember correctly, she doesn't like being called Missy, so I quite like the fact that they called the title Missy. Oh. And again, the vaporwave sort of designs. And yes, as someone mentioned, Roy's Motel, plausible they did leave Kazimierz. If that is the case, I really want them to appear in the story in like civilian clothing doing that, because that would be absolutely fucking hilarious. Like, could you imagine? Like, we literally fought those chuckle fucks, and now they're running a motel. That would be, you know, it is Roy's Motel Cafe. Wow. But yeah, I really liked the song. I really liked the music. I like the upbeat sort of jazzy instrumentals. I do like I don't listen to it often, but I do like that sort of Chinese pop. It's not something I listen to often. It's not something that comes across my radar very often, but where I live, there's a lot of Chinese businesses, restaurants, shops, stuff like that, and a lot of the time the store owners will tend to have this sort of this kind of music. They'll tend to have radio stations or playlists or whatever, and a lot of the time it tends to be this kind of song. So it's something that it's not too dissimilar to stuff that I tend to hear on the day to day. But yeah, I do like it. It's a really nice vibe song as well. It's like quite nice and quite chill. I do see this sort of stuff like Route 88. I feel like that's a reference to an American thing, isn't it? Like a Route something, Route 90 something. Like it kind of reminds me of that sort of thing. But I do like the motels in the background. It gives a very sort of LA type vibe. I'm assuming this is actually Siesta though, because that's the event. It's the So Long Adele. So I'm assuming it's Siesta. So it should technically be more like Ibiza, but I gotta say, for everyone saying Siesta's like Ibiza, this Siesta honestly reminds me more of Los Angeles. It reminds me a lot of those kind of areas. And especially this with the skyscrapers, palm trees, the motels, and again like the route stages. Route 66, yes. Like it does remind me a lot more of like Los Angeles and other places like that along that west coast. But I do like they've used a Chinese pop song for Swire, which, you know, makes sense. She's from Lungmen. So it kind of gives that sort of vibe of the you can take the girl out of Lungman, but you can't take Lungman out of the girl. Like it kind of has that sort of thing. You want to listen to the lobby themes? I might do, but I might do that for a separate stream, to be honest. I do kind of want to listen to more of like the lobby stuff, lobby themes, and some of the other sort of like event themes, especially the ones I haven't seen or like the new ones and stuff like that. So I might do that as a separate stream because I can gather enough of them. But yeah, I really liked this song. I really liked the vibes from it. And it also just makes me hyped for the character as well, if anything. But the next thing, though, there's only 2 things left, and they're relatively short. The next one is the PV for a death in Chunfen, which is the next event to come out. So they've only just sort of like released the global trailer for this. So that'll be quite interesting to see. Oh, it is Siesta. It's Siesta's new moving city. Oh, okay. So Siesta's Ibiza themed, but this new city is sort of like Los Angeles themed, I would have to assume. But it is a different place, so that's probably why it looks different. Okay. Nomination. So okay, so let's have a look at this one then. So this is a short one, it's just a PV, and it's Chuibai version. So and so this comes after Vernal Winds, right? So this is a continuation on. So the past 3 events have all been the same storyline, which is quite interesting. I don't know if they've done that before, but so it's a bit out of order because you had Vernal Winds and then you had Invitation to Wine, which is actually before Vernal Winds, and now you've got this, which is after Vernal Winds. So it's a little bit out of order, but it's interesting that they've played almost all of the storyline in one go. But this is after Vernal Winds. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to be quick with this one because it's only 16 seconds.
受け取り、つなぎ、続けてゆく。
Oh, her.
そして生きてゆくということ。アークナイツ新イベント、春分。さあ、立ちなさい。
As per usual, it is incredibly quick. Okay, so random character. I'm assuming not an operator. I'm assuming just a NPC. I don't recognize this person. She looks like she could be one of the sisters, one of the siblings, right? Is she one that already exists, or is this a new person? But she kind of gives me that same sort of vibe. She reminds me of one of those. Nope, she's a deer. Oh, she's a deer. Okay. She's from Vernal Winds. Okay, interesting. The fastest NPC to escape NPC jail, yeah. So she's walk. Random. I definitely need to read the story for Vernal Winds now that I've done it, because I didn't read it. I was gonna leave the entire story until I'd done all the events so I could watch it all in one go. But so I definitely need to see that because I need to see what this is. And then there's Saga. Saga's from Higashi, right? If I remember correctly. She was the more samurai themed Higashi, yes, okay. And what's his real event? Okay. Higashi Monk. Right. I feel like I've either got this character or this character's in the shop, and I can't quite remember. But I recognize this character. Mulberry. Yeah. Aren't they in the shop, or were they in the shop, like, before the change? I remember seeing this character somewhere where you can select them, where you could buy them or something. Never in shop. Okay, so where have I seen it then? Honeyberry? Oh, is there another one? She's still quite new. Oh. Is there someone else then that looks like her? Because I swear I've seen this face before, like in... Yeah, there's two berries. Okay. Not look alike though. Oh. I swear that there's someone like that with the hood and the goggles. There's something about it that seemed familiar, but I don't know. Maybe there's something else then. I just feel like it reminded me of something. And then there's... Praying the shrines. Yeah, I don't know too much about what's going on, to be honest. I need to watch more of what's happening. There's something. So this person's traveling with this kid. Was he in Vernal Winds? Is this taking place after that? Well, I know it's after Vernal Winds, but is it like story-wise? Is it directly taking place after? Is this someone that was in there? Because I'm assuming those two are quite. Because they're traveling together, so I'm assuming there's something. Not in Vernal Winds. Okay, so this is separate then. So this is not taking place immediately after then. Okay. It does, however, remind me of, oddly enough, I don't know why, but it's reminding me of one of those Wandering Samurai stories. I can't remember which one it is. It's the one where, you know, you've got the Wandering Samurai with a kid, and there was that sort of, you know, they're doing their samurai stuff, but, you know, but it's still that sort of moral question as to, you know, should you be doing this while you're looking after someone that can't defend themselves. I can't remember if it was a kid or a baby. It was something like that. But it reminds me of that, which is also the premise for that inspired The Mandalorian. But it kind of, I don't know why, it probably has nothing to do with that. It just sort of reminds me of that, because you've got this, I'm assuming a powerful person with someone who's probably not. But I don't know, it just sort of reminded me of one of those old Japanese stories. Or movies, I suppose. I don't know if it was a story to begin with, or if it was just a movie. I don't know if anyone knows of what I'm referring to, but it just reminds me of that. It's probably more so just the visual aspect of it, just that sort of wandering thing. But yeah, that's just kind of what it reminded me of. But yeah, so I need to read up on these. I started the Who Is Real one, so I should probably read up on, continue that one, and then just read through the whole story before this comes out, which is next week? The week after? Something like that. But the next one, though, finally, is the Chapter 9 trailer, Stormwatch. August 22nd. Okay, yeah, so... My face is probably a stop following me kid. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so I've already watched this trailer. I watched it the first time I reacted to the Arknights trailers. But I have played the story all the way up to Chapter 8 and Walking in the Dust. I am going to be going into Chapter 9, finally going into Victoria. So I'm going to watch this again with the added context of the entire game so far. So let's see how this goes. They climb out from their graves and rise high in the shadows, taking the city as their fuse to light Victoria's eternity ablaze. Oh, that was the Dublin people, wasn't it? The dragon. How magnificent the sun may be. The all-encompassing clouds torn apart. Oh, yeah, it is her. And that's horn and bagpipe. I forgot Roberta came with this. Oh, there's Mulberry. And Salish. Rhode Island does not avenge the dead, but it will work to let the living live. To this end, we sail for the storm. Interesting. Okay, and then there's these things which don't really matter to me because, you know, all this stuff already exists by the time I'm playing. Watch till the end. Oh. Oh, is there a way of getting rid of these? No, there isn't. Ah. 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 There we go. Wait, but I can't see what it says because of this bullshit. Remain alert. Oh. Ah! It's off. Okay. Well, anyway, so let's go back to this. So, of course, you got Victoria. They climb out the graves and rise in high shadows. Taking a city as their fuse to light Victoria's eternity ablaze. See, now, I don't understand what this is referring to, because, like, the moment I saw this, I immediately thought, oh no, not another Chernobog. Like, taking a city and then using it, like, that's just the immediate thing that I saw. But then, yeah, so we've got dragon person. Okay, so we've got Sage Leech, Magpipe. Is that, no, that's not, Reed, is it? It is Reed, okay. Interesting, I didn't recognize the outfit first. And then you've got her, or him, like, that's her, isn't it? That's the person in the event, which I didn't actually play because I didn't want to get myself spoiled. Well, I played the stages, but I skipped all the story. Reed's sister, right. Oh, that's the Vanguard Reed, okay. And this is the leader of Dublin, right? If I remember correctly. I am somewhat interested as to how that play out, because obviously Dublin is, you know, it's based on IRA. I'm assuming based on the original legitimate IRA. As opposed, but then I suppose, then again, if they're villains, they could very well be based on the terrorist IRA. If they are true villains, then that might make sense. Or maybe a mix of both. If it's something like Reunion, for example, where it was, yes, they're villains, but they're also complicated, then I guess it could be a mix of both. It's just the reason why I want to separate the two is because obviously the original IRA were fighting for independence and stuff like that. And, well, to say that the terrorist IRA weren't doing the same would be wrong, but, well, there's a difference between the two. Quite a big difference. One targeted civilians, one didn't. But, and of course, loads of different groups claim to be IRA or be descended of the original IRA, and every single group claims the other group isn't. So it's a bit of a mess. So I wonder how much of that goes into Dublin's sort of thing, if they really are based on IRA. Isn't Dublin the capital of Ireland? Yes, it is. At least as far as I can remember. It's not Cork, is it? No, it is Dublin. But yeah, so that's kind of the thing. So should play Firelight event after chapter 10 for safety because there's some hints for it. Okay. Well, I mean, I won't be able to play Firelight until it comes around anyway, so... Of course, I can I think I can watch the story. I think I did complete the stages, but I'm not sure. I might not have completed the stages, so I might not be able to watch the story anyway, so we'll have to see. But I mean, obviously it won't matter anyway, because I won't do it until I get around to chapter 10. So then you've got these. Oh, so Mulberry was fixed. Someone said they were new. But I could, because I swear Mulberry's in one of the stores. I could have swore she was one of the yellow certs for a while. Or maybe there's something in the... I don't know. I swear I've seen the option, because I saw like the profile picture, like you see for the things. Honeyberry is in red certs. Okay, now I mean before, like then it's changed. So I'm not talking about the name, I'm talking about the face and the thing. So unless Honeyberry looks like that, I'm not going to say it was. I know Honeyberry's in the red cert shop, but isn't Honeyberry always in the red cert shop? I'm referring to the yellow certs, where they change the characters out every now and then. Yeah, the yellow cert. I'm fairly certain Mulberry was in the yellow cert at some point. It's either... I don't know. Either that or she's got something in the... maybe she's got something in the CC shop? An outfit or something, maybe? I don't know. I just feel like I recognize the face and the red visors in a profile headshot. I don't know. Then you've got Say Leech though. Mulberry just got a skin. Oh. Maybe it was a skin shop then. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. So it was in the shop area, but it wasn't the search shop. It might have been the skin shop. That might be it then. Okay. But anyway, I've got this. I've nearly got her to E2. I've got her up to the maximum E1, but I've nearly got her to E2, which I'm really looking forward to. I kind of want to get her to E2 before I do chapter 9. I don't think it will make much difference if I don't, but I kind of want to start using her for chapter 9. I don't know why. It might just be sentimental because she's Victorian. Rhode Island does not avenge the dead, but it will work to let the living live. Yep. That we've seen all the way throughout the previous arc. To this end, we will sail for the storm. I wonder what that's referring to. I'm assuming it's not referring to an actual storm, but it could be. Lore accurate run. I wish I could get Bagpipe. If I was able to get Bagpipe before playing chapter 9, that would be hilarious. But yeah, I'd be able to get because I have to say, Leech, just drag oh shit, I've forgotten his name now. How have I forgotten his name? Catboy. just drag him by the ear. But I'm not even E1 yet. Don't care, you're coming with me. Just grab all of the Victorian lot and just take them with me. Stainless, there we go, thank you. So we've got this. So Bagpipe's going to be... I'm assuming Bagpipe's going to be quite in it quite a bit for chapter 9. I'm using both Salish and Myrtle. I probably will start using the two of them together, not gonna lie. Because there have been times where I've really needed to generate the DP, and I don't even use penance most of the time now because of the fact that I just don't usually have enough DP fast enough to use her. So I've fallen back to using Cora. Bagpipe is great. I have her giving SP boosts, like boost to other vanguards is huge for flag waivers. Yeah, I've used Bagpipe once, and I really liked how she played, and I really want to get her. But anyway, so there was one other thing. So there, I forgot to get it. I need to get the Stormwatch PV. So I need to get the animated one. Yes, this one. Copy link. This is another one I have watched, obviously, because I watched all of the trailers the first time round, but I'll watch it again because, again, context, and I like to see the characters.
どこまでも連なる怨恨、
Oh,
悪意、暴力、
Horn
新たな戦いが
with two
幕を
shields.
開けます。アークナイツ第9章暴風眺望。ドクター、覚悟はいいですか？
Okay. Again, very short, so I need to analyze the fuck out of it.
どこまで
No,
も
shush.
連なる
Pause. Okay. So, a very familiar scene, a destroyed city. I feel like I feel like this is getting old now. Yes, I see. Destroyed city, Originium sticking out of the ground. I feel like a very familiar scene, a very familiar scenario. We've been through this a few times now. If anything, we're quite veteran at it. Construction must be a booming job, yeah. So, maybe my concern about a second Chernobog might not be too far off from the truth. They did say taking the city, and I guess this is... I don't know if this will count as taking, but... Obviously, very British-looking architecture, so I'm going to assume it is somewhere in Victoria. Not looking too good, so I'm assuming this is a very bad... Well, obviously it's a very bad thing, it's a fucking destroyed city, but you know what I mean, like, this is obviously destroyed, and by the way the characters look so distraught, I'm assuming they were trying to stop it from happening. Yes, I'm just going through, and I've got Horn. I'm assuming this is in the same city? And she's holding two shields. Has she always been holding two shields? Because I could have swore she had one shield and an artillery piece. So maybe she's like full-on defense this time. Yeah, look at the roofs. Yeah, that's what I was wondering because of the round roofs. But again, it could be any city in Victoria because you would have the similar sort of styles, but both. Oh, so she does both. Okay. You gotta go through. I do really like Horn, both as a character and as an operator. I wish I got her. I'm still so annoyed about that banner. Sayleech, Horn, Mudrock. Four 6 stars I got on that damn banner. All of them were Sayleech. 4 6 stars on one banner. All Sayleech. It's just it was Sayleech likes you, I guess. But it was a thing. I really wanted her. I really wanted an artillery ranged defender. It's such a good playstyle. It fits with something that I do. I like defense, but at range. It's something that I like to play to. And I think she would work really well with the sort of way that I play most of the time. Also, he's there. Of course he is. He's always there. And she's the one that was in Firewatch, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so he's always there. The wine business owner. I'm sure wine is the only thing he sells. I'm sure he's not selling anything else that makes him super popular. You must be a hated player in Battlefield. Oh, I do play long range for Battlefield and explosive. So yes, I'm normally hated in Battlefield and Battlefield styled games. Point at fire whistle. Do I have fire whistle? I don't think I do. I don't think I've got a defender like Horn. The rich aristocrat feline NPC. Yeah. I do feel like it's the same person in everyone. I know I keep saying this, but my headcanon is that this particular NPC that we see in all of the fancy venues is the same person. This wine business person who probably has other businesses, whether they're legal or not, I don't know. But this is, I just feel like they're all the same person. It just feels like the same character every time you see them, because they're written the same way. Ashlock is 5-star Beta Horn. Oh. I need to see then. I might have Ashlock, I'm not sure. A relatively bored looking person. I don't know who that is. But then you got... you know... There's a certain face in anime. And you just see the face and you just know, oh, they're not all there. Oh, they are not sane. There is nothing sane about this face. This is a couple of apples away from a fruit basket. Like, this is not... like, that's a face you immediately send to a therapist. And of course you got, I'm assuming Reed, because of the amulet. Oh yeah, Cactus, that's amazing. Ma, there's a weird looking cat. There's a strange fucking cat outside. And yeah, so you got Reed. Yeah, there it is, yeah. With the Charmander tail. You've got Amiya, and she's doing... it looks like she's doing the caster Amiya. So I'm assuming she's not always using the Chi Shao lookalike. Maybe she can't. Maybe it would be too dangerous to keep using it. So maybe she just only does it as a thing. I see a lot of vines. I'm seeing like some wannabe... I've forgotten the name of the character now. What's the name of that character that does the vines in Batman? Poison Ivy. Some wannabe Poison Ivy. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, it is a wannabe Poison Ivy. That's a caster. Wait. Those are reunion masks. Those are reunion faceplates. No. Oh, that is 9. No. Guys, please, no. Come on, no. Stop. You can't do this to me. We've finished the chapter. The arc is over. We're in a new arc, a new country. Fuck off. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this dance. Why are they here? Give me a break from them, please. I didn't want to keep thinking about them, but they're here. And why are the Sarkaz here as well? Well, I mean, I know why the Sarkaz are here. The Sarkaz are a big part of Victoria, but why are the Sarkaz here with Reunion still? Didn't we kind of establish that they went their own way? Like, oh, please. I thought I was done with Reunion. I've already done that. I've made my peace. I said goodbye to them. Okay. Who do you think that is? I mean, so that's 9. That's definitely 9. It's the same. She's got the casters and the bow users. Now, I'm assuming that's either just a random Sarkaz mercenary that's with this reunion, or it's W's group. It could be W's group. I don't know. I wouldn't mind W coming back. It's just, why reunion? Like, I don't even care about them as enemies. They've been through enough, please. But it looks like we're fighting them still. Because apparently we just can't let it go. Oh well. I guess that's so County Hillock. Okay, so we're in Hillock. We're in the Hillock for chapter 9 then. So we're not in Londinium, I'm assuming. Stop overthinking, don't hurt yourself. I know, yeah. I thought we would have had. I thought we were going to have at least some break, you know, like at least a chapter's break from them. But oh well. But I think for now I'm going to leave this here. I will be back tomorrow. Actually, I'll be playing Arknights. I should be finishing Walk in the Dust tomorrow, so I'll be playing that. And what's the other thing? Oh yeah, then Sunday I'll be playing Cyberpunk 2077 for the first time in ages. Like I played one part of it and then stopped because of times and stuff. But yeah, so that's the plan. So I'll be playing Arknights tomorrow and then Cyberpunk for those of you who like Cyberpunk and like those sorts of RPGs. In the meantime, though, for those of you who are new here or haven't done it already, I have a Discord, which I've now linked. Maybe. There it is. And that's where you mainly keep up with the stuff that I do and things like that. I do also have a Twitter, but I'm not really advertising it anymore. I'm sort of trying to lean away from Twitter because of, well, Twitter. Discord is mainly where... Discord and the community tab on YouTube is where I tend to post my bullshit. So if you want to keep up with everything like that, that's the place to go. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for hanging around. And I shall see you all next time. Bye-bye.